5 called Now. Oh, and it looks like Tennille's finally been able to join us.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm here.
Yeah, we're all right. Glad you could make it. So, I can't start. I'm just too frustrated and upset and mad. So, somebody else start.
Well, I didn't watch it. Yay! Oh, that's so wrong of me. No, seriously. I had no intentions of watching the episode when I saw the Spoiling Dead fan on Facebook. Nope. I am so not going to watch it. And I feel so proud of myself that I didn't watch it. But the minute it ended, I went on Twitter to see what everyone was saying, and I was so happy to see all the negative comments. It just lifted my spirits.
Well, I feel no guilt for downloading it illegally, so that's what I did.
I did watch. I watched. I have to watch so I can have something to talk about. And I'm just going to let y'all know right now, my shipping goggles, I'm taking them off. I still ship Rick and Michonne all the way, but I'm going in on this episode. I am highly ticked off with this episode. Highly. I'm just in my feelings. You know, I have to go back to episode 3, and I have to look at it. I have to ask you guys this question. We got Michonne, right? And I feel like we got Michonne to shut us up. I don't think, now that I look back on it, she had any character development in that episode. All she did was progress everyone else but herself. She still felt in that episode that she was not worth anything to anybody. Now that I have the time to sit back after this episode and really reflect back on these past episodes, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid with The Walking Dead anymore. I'm not doing it. I think that they do things to shut us up, and we're not really looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, I mean, it's had me thinking about the controversy over, like, oh, was David's conversation really for Michonne or was it for someone else? And like the way that it was never addressed when we finally see her again, it makes me seem like, I guess they were right. It really wasn't for her, was it? Because we don't see any kind of reaction to it or that it means anything. And that is just really upsetting. It's like she can't have anything.
No, nothing. She's just in the same spot where she's been. It's ridiculous. And I'm very upset with Rick because Rick was borderline stalker in this episode. Every time you looked up, if Jesse was not in her house, that man was lurking behind some bushes. He came out of the darkness on her, and somehow he caught her speech. If that don't freak you out, Jesse, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. He got on my nerves this episode. Where was your kid? Why did you not go check on your kids? You was too busy checking on Jesse? You kept stalking her the whole episode?
Okay, so
somebody please.
I'm sorry. Are you guys telling me that in this episode, Carl and Judith wasn't even in it? Like, how did he get back?
We don't know. We don't know. He's just running. We don't know how he got out of the RV. We don't know where the RV is. He's just running. And like the quarterback, he was dodging them walkers. I'm like, really? Really, Rick?
Her.
So Carl and Judith wasn't in the episode then. Okay.
No, Carl was, but there was no Rick and Carl moment. Let's just put it like that.
But there was no Rick and Ron.
What's up with that?
I have no idea. That is really weird. That's I know I did ask last night who wrote the episode. I mean, because I would like to see his other works in other episodes so I can compare them.
It was Corey Reed, and let me look up.
You wrote 513, which was the worst episode ever before this one.
513.
Forget.
What was 513?
Forget the party.
Oh, because I forgot. I told y'all, I forgot.
But the episode everybody wants to forget. And
Then I forgot.
And now everyone wants to forget now. That is awesome.
I mean, have y'all been reading the reviews? They are going in. I've never seen reviews that brutal. I'm like, yes! Now we have the media on our side. You know, I really do think that they need to reevaluate where The Walking Dead is going. Maybe they need to get rid of Gimple, or maybe Gimple needs to bring in some fresh blood of writers. Because
I'm going to say, I would like to say he needs to regroup the writers.
Yeah.
He needs to structure the writers where at least 3 of them is focusing an episode on a specific character. So in that episode, you have the writers work on these characters, and then you have these set of writers working on these characters. So there'll be multiple characters in that episode. So you won't have to keep asking yourself, well, where are they? So you'll have 3 characters working on maybe Maggie, Rosita, and Tara, and then the next three will be working on Abraham and Sasha and Daryl, and so on and so forth. So everyone will have a piece of character in that episode.
Yeah.
He needs to restructure.
He really does.
Gimple has had some really good episodes. You know when he writes an episode and it comes in screen, it's good. But whoever this Corey dude is, granted that he wrote Forget, it's not working. He really messed up. I think maybe he was too thirsty. You think he's thirsty?
Well, I mean, it bleeded on Rick's, thirstiness. So yeah, he's thirsty. He's thirsty. You don't think that AMC didn't call him up today and be like, yeah, you messed up.
Of course.
But they've known how the reaction. They should have known what the reaction would be. They just don't.
I don't think they thought it was gonna be this bad. I really don't think it was gonna be this bad. I mean, they've had bad in the past, but come on. You have people reviewing this episode and they're just tearing it to shreds. They're going in.
It was, if you guys, like I said before, if you guys have ever noticed the way Alexandria Breckenridge acts, it's not strong enough. And I don't know if anyone really believe that it's gonna take you three I'm gonna say a week to be strong or get strong. Whereas it took all these other characters different stages in their life to get where they are. Like, I mean, from season 1, Rick was like, what the hell is going on here when he saw the walker by the bike, to now in season 6. And then you see, like, Glenn, for example, it's each of them grew up, and I didn't believe that she could carry those kind of acting. I didn't believe it.
I've said it before. Like I said, these people have had 5, 6 seasons to be where they are. And to have this woman come into her own with the matter of the end of season 5 and the season 6, it's not being portrayed on screen very well. And now you have people questioning, do they like Rick anymore? I mean, how do you do that to the lead character that we love, and now people are questioning Rick? They don't even want him to be the leader anymore. How do
Well,
you
I
get
felt
him
that for a
back?
long time.
You know? Wow, you really messed up. They really messed up to have your leading man be hated at this point. I don't know if that's where they were trying to go, or I just don't know. I don't. If they would have just left the Jesse storyline where it was and not made it so complicated, it would have been okay, I guess. But it doesn't make any sense.
My issue with having Jesse and Rick to get together isn't so much that they're getting together, even how they get together. It's gross. It's what it is. It is what it is. But my issue is that in order to do this, they've been sidelighting Michonne. Like, give her something else. Stop making her support Rick and be there for Rick and do all this stuff for Rick when he's not doing anything for her. Like, that is my issue.
Yes. Yes.
Come on.
And I see, I'm sorry, I did notice that. I noticed in order to bring her up, she had to be in the back, just to focus the attention on what they wanted to show the audience.
But if you gotta do all of that, if you really gotta do all of that, is it really worth it though? You know, if you got to cut down somebody's shine because they just shine when they ain't even saying nothing. Because when she was in there for 5 minutes, my eyes was on her. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, she's ready to kick some ass. Let's do this. You know, and it didn't happen. It just didn't happen.
Hi, Lainey. Are you there?
Hey guys, how are you? I'm sorry, I missed the beginning. The girls had basketball today,
That's all
so
right.
that's why I was like, I don't know if I can come to all of them.
Well, I mean, thank you guys for starting it an hour earlier. I don't know, like, if it's that convenient for you, so maybe we can do different times, but this is the time that worked best for me, so I appreciate you guys being able to make it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Any reason to put the girls to bed early? I'm good.
Well, tell me guys, how many articles are out there about this episode?
A lot.
That's one.
I've seen the bad ones, but I'm sure there are good ones out there.
Hey, Forbes wrote an article.
I mean, if they're the ones that I did read, I wouldn't necessarily call them good as much as they were just straight up reviews. Put it that way. They just made sure to cover everything about the episode, but nobody seemed very nobody gave it the accolades like the first three or the first four. Nobody was really feeling this episode for some reason. I wonder why.
Oh.
Let's see, shall we?
I wonder why.
Reasons.
But it wasn't just the Rick and Jesse thing. The whole episode.
No, it was more than that. It was more, yeah.
Some people like the Deanna thing. I never felt Deanna. I was never liking her. I felt as though she had an ego on her shoulders and she didn't know what she was doing, but she was trying to keep rank or something. I never liked her. So I don't know. Everybody else seemed to enjoy it. I didn't like it at all. And I didn't like what Spencer was alright. Spencer was interesting. He's an asshole, but yeah, you need to have somebody like that in there. So I could appreciate him being the asshole that he was, especially given the fact that he's such a spoiled brat. I was like, really? You're going to go ahead and mouth off to these people about taking the food and then you stealing the food? It's like, that is the definition of a politician's child. That's it. That's what it looked like in the dictionary. He doing exactly, they are just people like that are too privileged, and they feel as though they should continue to be privileged, even in an apocalyptic situation. It's like, no, you do not get privileges like that.
Well, so, at least they got that part right.
Yeah, exactly. They stayed true to that in that you know, Spencer, he was a bitch either way. I don't care how you try to place it. Deanna raised some really bad kids. She did not do her job. She wasn't even a good politician. How about that? Like, but being a politician doesn't necessarily require you to be a good person. In fact, it's probably the exact opposite. But the thing with Deanna, then I like Rosita, but you guys know how I feel about Tara. You know how I feel about her. I don't like her.
I feel the same way as you do. With Tara, I like take her or leave her. You know?
I don't know why. I still don't understand why she is there. I still don't understand why she's there. She's just there, and she doesn't really contribute. I don't get nothing from it. It's just like she's there like Judith is there. She's just there.
She's clumsy. She's a klutz. She's a klutz.
And I don't know what they were trying to get across with having Denise kiss her. I guess that's some kind of, you know, that's that general man's fantasy thing. They don't care who it is, as long as it's two women kissing, then it's good. So they just go ahead and throw that shit in there. What?
It wasn't even going to be gay. Is she going to be gay? I need to know this. Is this where we're going with her character? She's going to be gay.
It didn't make any sense. You know,
it's like something, and it kind of ticked me off. And I feel like the reason why they are making her gay is because she's big bone. They will not put her with me.
Why?
I feel like they are making her gay because she's big bone. Why they couldn't keep the story with Heath? Why they couldn't keep it like that?
I would have liked that as well, but I don't know. I'd have to see it play out, but I don't think they were really going for Denise being a lesbian.
Well, I think that maybe they thought. But why would she do that? I don't care if you help me to figure some things out. I'm not gonna kiss another woman. Maybe she's free-spirited, I guess. I don't know. But that just don't make no sense.
So the confusion comes in because we think that she should be more like she was in the comic. So we're confused by like whether she's like her character in the comic or not.
Right. I just don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore with what they're doing. It's just
what they're doing is pissing me off, and I don't think they're gonna stop. So I got into it on Twitter with Yvette Nicole Brown. I was like, this episode didn't make any sense, and she was like, oh, you just need to stick with it and think about like the whole season as an overreaching arc. And I'm just like, I don't know if I can deal with this for a whole season, because things need to make sense, but nothing made sense. Like, and another thing that pissed me off was the whole like Maggie going off by herself. Like her going after Glenn, I completely understand. We saw her do that in season 4, but we also saw her come to the realization that she can't do it on her own. There's that beautiful moment where she goes to Sasha and she's like, I need your help. So why would she go off by herself? That could have been a perfect moment to have Michonne in the episode,
right?
You know, and get some of her reaction to the loss of Glenn. And she was the last person to see it, so to see him. So it'd be like, it would make sense for Maggie to be like, where did you last see him? Take me there.
Straight.
Or if Maggie was mad at Michonne for whatever reason, she could have asked Carol. Or she could have asked Tara, or she could have asked Rosita, given any of the other women something to do so we could not focus on the lame blonde hairdresser chick. Like, nothing in the episode made sense to me, and it pisses me off.
And then we're supposed to be forgiven of that, right? Yeah. That's amazing. That all pretty much comes down to writing. You're an awful writer, Corey, and I cannot believe they approved it.
Yeah, they put a stamp on that. Like they say, it's filler. You know, they have to stretch this thing out into this big mid-season finale. But if you're going to do a filler, at least do a filler that makes sense. You know, just don't. Oh Lord!
But there are so many stories that that wouldn't be filler that they could just put the time into that because we only have 16 episodes.
Exactly.
And they've got this huge cast. We haven't even seen some of the characters for a couple of episodes. Like, they need new writers.
They do. I agree.
Yeah, maybe they really do need new writers.
They really do. They need to bring fresh blood in. They need to do some. Believe me, I think that maybe this episode will kind of open the eyes of everyone over at AMC. And maybe they might have to clean house. Maybe.
I guess it would depend on the ratings.
The ratings, the board members, you gotta. It's not that easy.
Do we know what the ratings
are about last night? No. Did anybody know what the ratings were?
I haven't seen anything. I tried to look it up today, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. Okay.
But I think, what I was really thinking about the episode after, all day at work today, I was like, you know what? We're rehashing the same story. Rick is going crazy again. And I was
again.
It's like, so now it's coming across, and I don't care. It's just the same story. It's just made up a little differently now.
Yeah.
It's like he's crazy, really, again. He has both his kids. All the rest of his crew lost him. And he gets to be acting like a fool and doing all of this? No, he's acting like, he acting like a little spoiled. He acting like somebody who's spoiled. Oh, love me, take care of me. No, I love your kids. They still here. What you doing with her? What you doing
and
with
her
kids? No, and him, you can say, they can say, oh, he's got PTSD. Look, everybody got PTSD, and his PTSD should be the very least of everybody else's death. All right, Sasha, what is this? This is only going into a couple of weeks for Sasha and Maggie, who just recently lost all of their family.
Okay,
Maggie. Glenn is alive or not? Shouldn't she be freaking out too? But no, Rick is, because he's the lead, he's got to have the worst PTSD. No, he don't. He can have his shit together.
Or, if he's going to have PTSD, let somebody else be the leader. He can
fall back.
Fall apart. It happens. I can respect that. But don't make him the leader and don't be like, everybody needs to listen to him or you're stupid. That's ridiculous.
I'm going to kill you. You're a threat if you don't listen to me.
Yes. Oh my God.
He just maybe he's got a little bit of an ego on his shoulders. Maybe that's what this is about. He don't want to give up leadership. He don't want to necessarily step on Deanna's toes because she's been leader here, but he really wants to be in charge, but he don't want to say he want to be in charge. And that's a problem.
But did you hear when she let him she wanted him to take over? He had a grin on his face, like, yeah, I've been waiting for you to say that.
He wants to run stuff. And I always say anybody who's looking to be a leader don't need to be a leader. They don't need to be a leader. You willingly want this crap job? You want to be a leader? You probably shouldn't be. Now, somebody who wouldn't want to be a leader is Michonne, but Michonne could be a leader. She would be doing it, begrudgingly. She don't want to do it, but she could do it. Somebody else who would be able to do it. Abraham wouldn't do it. Carol wouldn't want to do it. She want to stay in the shadows.
Yeah, in the bushes.
Maggie could do it, but Maggie's not in the right frame of mind now, so
yeah.
I guess There's nobody else that could do it besides Michonne. Nobody else could do it. Not right now, anyway. Just like that article said.
Yeah. I can't find the ratings after a quick
Yeah.
look on Google, so I guess we'll find out later. But
You know, another thing that kind of upsets me, and everybody is entitled to where I do result back to the comics, and everybody is saying, well, you know, it happened in the comics. It happened in the comics. Yeah. Well, if we're gonna talk about the comics, well, let's talk about why Michonne, they have not followed anything basically with her when it comes to the comics. She has had not one romance when she should be working on her second. So if we're gonna talk about the comics, then let's talk about, okay, why she ain't got nobody. If this Rick situation and Jesse situation, of course, is supposed to happen. Well, then let me bring up, okay, well, what about Michonne?
I had the same argument with somebody on YouTube. They commented on another video, and they're like, "Oh, I don't think Rick and Michonne are going to get together, but I think Michonne's going to get somebody else. They're going to bring in Ezekiel or something." And I'm like, what are you basing this off on? If Michonne were going to get any kind of romance, we would have seen it by now. But just like they're just keeping her in stasis, and we don't even know what for.
I have a theory. I have a theory, but it's a personal, like, I want to believe that they are. Do you find maybe like the powers to be a little bit jealous of Denai right now? I mean, here she has a show on Broadway. I mean, it was off Broadway, but now it's on Broadway. She's recognized as, you know, well-known playwright with awards, and then now Eclipse is on Broadway. It's like #1. There's articles and interviews about it, and it's like ballpark. So I don't know. I'm just like, maybe I'm going too far in my mind here when I say this, but I just feel like
No, I don't think there would be any jealousy there. I mean, they're two completely different mediums. And it does make me wonder if maybe Denai doesn't care so much about what happens to her character as like maybe we do, because she is so busy. She's doing other things. So this is just like her part-time gig or whatever.
No, that's not true. I think she does care, but I think what they're doing is probably like just telling her, oh, be patient. Because remember, she said in the article, oh, Michonne's a nun. She don't get none. She don't give none. So she knows. She see it. She knows what's going on. But I think that they are just like, it's come, you know, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna take care of you. And it's like it's 3 years now, and it's like, hey, you know, what's up? What you gonna do with me? Because, you know, I don't have to be here. You know, and now it's that serious with her character, especially with all these articles saying, where's Michonne? Where's Carol? It's that serious now. You know, if you get rid of Michonne, you're going to have a real problem on you. You're going to have a problem on your hands, like losing a Glenn or Daryl or Rick. If something go wrong with Michonne, people going to really problems. So it's like, you know, like I said, they need to make sure they need to come correct in 6B, because if they don't have something set up for Michonne in 6B, then it's gonna be like that. They just not gonna take care of her, because 6B is it. Because Michonne, especially with the No Way Out and All Out War, Michonne is riddled all through that arc. Michonne is all in both of those arcs, and if she's not getting, you know, prime time, then now it's on purpose. Now you doing this on purpose, that you're leaving her out. So we'll see.
And then I guess, you know what, maybe that's why I'm thinking like that. Maybe why I thought like that. Like, why are they doing this? And after they've been saying, oh, we're listening to the fans, that's why we're doing all this stuff. It's for the fans. This is a fan show. And yet they're doing a complete 360. It's like they're not listening to us. They're listening to the other side of the fan, but they're not listening to all of us in general. So I guess that's why
I'm starting to think that they were just saying that. I don't think they were listening to us at all now. I think they were just saying that.
Yeah.
That's the way it feels. I don't think they were. I think that's just a standard line that they say. But I mean, as far as with the cast go, of course the cast feels that way. But the people that are in charge, that running shit, I don't think they listen to the fans at all. Not even a little bit. Because if they was listening to the fans, then a lot of people would still be here, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those characters would still be around. So I don't know. I think the cast appreciates the fans, but I don't think the writers and AMC pay any attention to the fans. But we'll see how this one goes around, because like I said, everybody seemed pretty upset with this episode, and it wasn't just. I don't know. You know what? One of the reviewers I was watching, what Phil the Issue got, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying that this episode had to do with more red shirts, and people don't necessarily care about the red shirts. They care about their core group.
Thank you.
What they're doing, I guess, is trying to build up these red shirts for when they die, but it's like, you didn't do a good job of this.
Right.
We don't care about it.
Stories are unoriginal. Like, we've already seen these stupid people not knowing how to deal with it, and then, like, some of them learning how to deal with it. So there's nothing original about the story, and there's nothing original about the characters. The one that they highlighted this episode, it's a rehash of Carol, and they're trying to make her like the better Michonne so that she's good enough for Rick, and it's contrived and it's stupid.
And it didn't work.
It really did not work.
It really
failed
backfired.
It failed, and that's why I doubt now it's a better understanding as to why Andrew Lincoln was busy canvassing, because I guess maybe he's experienced it in other, in his other works on TV. It's like, listen, once you do this to your main character, I'm gonna be getting slammed. People are gonna be disliking me, and they're gonna be disliking the writers. Are you sure you want to go this route? Are you sure you want to do this? That's why he started it back in, what was it, during the mid-season premiere in season 5. He started trying to do damage control back then.
But his character's kind of ruined a little bit. It is. A lot of people, they're not feeling him right now. They're not feeling Rick. I was not feeling him this episode. I love him, don't get me wrong. But I just was not feeling him at all. He was doing just way too much. Where's your children? Where's your group? Where are you trying to figure out how, where are you at when you need to get with Carol and see what happened and check in with her? We didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
We didn't, and y'all know how I feel about Carol. So for me to be like, where was Carol? She should have been in this episode.
You know what? Here's the he did talk with Carol, because remember he made mention that, this must have been one of the wolves that Carol said she shot, but she couldn't find them. So behind the scenes,
if my eyeballs don't see it, it didn't exist. Anything that happened off camera, it just didn't exist to me. You know what I'm saying? I got to see the combo. I just got to see it.
Yeah. They just threw that one in there. I still think a lot of it has to do with money. We all know AMC is cheap, and they had a limit. They had the lowest paid cast members in this episode. And they did. I mean, even Rosita, and I love Rosita, but she ain't making the kind of money that, them 4 or 5. She ain't making Glenn money, and Glenn ain't making no money compared to Daryl and Rick. So they had all the cheapest, the lowest paid people in this episode. So and I guess in some regards, if not to say that I'm business oriented, I said, but on a cash flow level, I guess I said we gotta have an episode where we eliminate some of the salaries. We gotta, we gotta tone it down.
Yeah, but they had that last week when they only had like 2 people in the episode the whole time.
Yeah.
They still have to pay them whether they're in the episode or not. So that wouldn't make sense.
Mm.
I'm like, I can't. I'm done trying to figure them out.
I think they just don't know how to write stories for multiple people. These writers are in it, and they just don't know what they're doing.
They don't.
Because when you think back on season 5 and how many episodes they had with the Grady Hospital arc, and they ain't have no main cast members in it. They were all newbies. We ain't never seen them before. You knew they was at the bottom.
Well,
but they always have episodes like that, right?
I think it stopped with the bottle episodes. Like, the best episodes from last season were, like, the first 3. And that had all of the cast members in it. And, like, the airtime was pretty much spread out evenly. And you had interaction between all of the characters. Like, they need to get back to that instead of doing these stupid bottle episodes. I think it worked effectively in season 4, but it's not anymore. They need to stop.
Yeah, you can't. It was unique for season 4 because they were all on the road, so that was fine. You can't keep going back to that and like that be your standard way of storytelling. That's not what we want to see. Like that's ridiculous. We keep people that we want to see off the screen for 3 weeks at a time. Nobody came for that.
Right. And everybody asking, "Where's our group? I want our group back together." Quit breaking them up like that. Put them together. That's what I want.
Yep. I think the writers are really just lazy. Like, the only good writer, honestly, is Scott Gimple. And I appreciate him because he don't be writing no Jesse scenes either. So,
that means he's in charge of all of the Jesse crap, and he's the one that has to push it or something.
Yeah, he got to sign off on that at the end of the day.
No, I know that, but he don't be writing it himself. I'm sure he's not here for it either, really. So he needs to find other writers.
If he's not here for it, then why is it in? It didn't have to be in. Or it could have been done differently. He had control over it.
It could have been done differently.
And when am I going to get a Rick and Michonne episode? I guess we ain't going to never get that, huh?
No.
It doesn't seem likely.
We ain't going to never get that.
Yeah,
we got a Carol and a Daryl and a Beth, Daryl and a snake, Daryl and a dog. We done got all these episodes with these people, but I can't get just like, okay.
The big bottle episode. It's all Daryl.
For whatever reason, they don't want to get them unless they just hold it, like I said, unless they just holding out for 6B. That's the only thing I can figure because they are about due for a bottle episode.
If they're holding out for episode 16, I would be pissed. Because then there would be another couple months of waiting to see, what's going on in, for series premiere and for season 7. No, they can't do that to me. They can't do that to us.
Girl, they'll do it. We didn't think that we was gonna get this kissing and all this stuff. We thought too much was gonna go on, and look at what happened. They said, "Ha ha, I got you. We gonna do it anyway. Got y'all what we want y'all."
Yeah, you know what? But the truth is, the kiss was forced. There was nothing in it, and you know what? Well, you guys,
it was a bad.
Was the kiss
It was
good?
bad.
It was bad. It did look awkward. It's like he didn't know where to put his head. She didn't know where to put her head and her hand. It was like, ooh, this is not natural.
That whole setup was thick. Look, I don't like Jessie, right? I don't like Jessie just like y'all. I mean, I appreciate the fact that she stepped up and she was able to kill, one of the wolves and everything.
In 2 days, really though.
But the whole way they wrote Jessie was wrong. It was wrong. It's not believable. Nobody believes it. Nobody is
I
buying
would
it.
be fine with her if they just didn't have to sideline Michonne in order to highlight her.
Exactly.
I wouldn't.
And
I would.
when did she find time to bake them cookies after she killed that woman in that kitchen? That's not sanitary. That
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
sanitary.
Maybe she was cooking them all along while she was killing the wolf yeah, all that happened in one day. Don't even get me started on her son. Oh, her son. Oh, Sam. Both of her kids. Oh, well, that goes back to the fact she ain't have control of them when her husband was alive. But I was like, yeah, I would tell Sam, I said, Sam, you gotta get your shit together. This is real. You better come downstairs and eat these cookies, or you're not gonna eat. How about
You
that?
can't be locking yourself in that room forever. But she created the monster. She created that, you know.
I tell you what, I come from the family where it's like, when I was gonna say, you better eat everything on your plate. Don't play with me. You ain't going to bed.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Sam is pretty much traumatized. If that's what happened in the okay, exactly what happened? Where was he? Was he like in his room and he didn't want to come out?
He was at the top of the stairs. He wouldn't come down.
Yeah.
So he was afraid.
Yeah. Of his mom, right?
What, he was afraid of his mom? Oh my God.
No, they didn't say what he was afraid of. He was just generally scared of life.
Oh.
I mean, I thought he was scared of her. She had cookies and that didn't work. So I was just like, she didn't ruin them. He don't want to come to mama. Something wrong.
Oh my God, did you
They
say
weren't Carol's cookies, so they just look nasty. He didn't want them.
Right.
We got a comment from Candy Ma, and she says they haven't posted the ratings for episode 5, but so far it looks like the episodes centered around Alexandrians get lower ratings.
Yeah, that had to be purposely done. They had to do that on purpose for some reason. They had to. I guess, like I said, to make people care when they die. But I'm like,
I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care about nobody in Alexandria. I'm sorry, y'all, but Aaron and Deanna. I like Deanna, except when she was trying to stab that walker, but she wasn't getting that head. She kept stabbing everywhere else but that head. Didn't she tell her you stab it in the head? Didn't they tell you stab it in the head?
And you saw what I said on Tumblr last night, right? I said, she gonna kill that walker. She better get back there and pick up that body. Nobody clean up, after her. But just because you was leader, you get to go around killing walkers and then leave the body there for somebody else to clean up? You got to do the whole thing.
I think it kind of goes back to Rick being a bad leader. Like, he keeps saying, oh, you guys need to be tougher, you guys need to be stronger, or whatever. But we haven't seen him actually teaching any of them until tonight's episode. And then it's like, well, you should have been teaching them before you had them trying to lead a herd, like, away from the town. We should have seen them training. We should have seen him not giving people who aren't trained guns. Just like, his leadership sucks.
At this point, yep. Yes, ma'am.
And I was telling Emmy earlier, like, it pisses me off because when you have Rick acting like this, being stupid, not being a good leader, and then you have Michonne supporting him, her only role is to support him, it makes her look bad, which makes me dislike her, and it pisses me off that they're making my favorite character look stupid.
Right.
For supporting this dumbass character.
And I know she got to see what he's doing, what's driving him crazy. I know she's got to see it. I know because she's knocked him in the head before. And it just, I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, we got a comment from Simple4321. She says, I no longer want Rick with Michonne, or I need Michonne to get with someone else before linking with Rick if it even happens.
Well, that's not gonna happen.
Well, this is how I see it. If they're going to get together, I'm going to really, really, really need Rick to explain some things for me to be okay with him to be with Michonne. I need to know. I just need to know where his feelings lie with this whole Jesse thing and why now him and Michonne are together. I need some things to be answered. I don't. If they get together, they're not going to tell us anything of that sort. We're not going to get it. I just don't see them doing it.
Yeah, I need a big ass gesture from Rick. And I know this is probably going to be unpopular, but I know a lot of people are looking forward to Rick cutting off Jesse's hand. But I want it to be Michonne. Because we keep seeing this imagery of Jesse taking her place, and we saw Alexandra Breckenridge holding the sword, Michonne's sword, standing in between Rick and Carl. We saw her on Talking Dead talking about how Rick has never had an intimate relationship with a woman before her. And then we see her taking up the story. So I kind of just want that imagery of a black woman chopping down this white woman, being like, no. And Rick could be mad at her, but I want him to forgive her for it. Be like, yeah, you did something bad, but I still love you. And I think that would be a huge gesture. Mm-hmm. We've seen Rick screw up and Michonne forgive him. So let's see Michonne do something that people won't like and Rick forgive her.
Well, you guys need to understand that Alexandra Breckenridge.
I want to see that one because you know how they get on Michonne and she ain't even do nothing. So you can imagine what they would do.
I think that would be a huge gesture on his part.
They would just have to get over it.
Who would be mad about that? That would be amazing.
And you know what? You look at that situation, you have to ask yourself, Rick really feeling this shit. You know what I'm saying? He's love this woman the way he was stalking her in this episode. You know, it made me really question. At first I was just like, yeah, it's just a sexual thing. But now I'm like, he's opening up to her the way that he opens up to Michonne. I'm with you, Kay, because I don't like it. I don't like how she's shaking up. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Just making me mad all over again.
It's going to be a stretch.
That's all they're looking for. But nobody's going to be upset that when she died, though. Nobody going to care. No, you know what? Everybody, and here's the thing that's going to piss people off. Check this. If Betsy don't die by the chop, everybody's going to be up and on. It's got to be her. If they don't cut Jesse's arm, I'd hate to see the fandom on that one. If they don't cut Jesse's arm, Jesse has got to die this way. It has to.
Nobody
can't
else.
Go.
They already foreshadowed it. It's happening. And Rick just died in the city. It's happening.
So that's a definite. But you know, and everybody and all those the Jessica fandom, and they're like, oh, they're a real couple now and everything. I said, one screw in the garage don't make them a couple. It don't.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's one day. Come on now.
It's one screw. That sounds like something like the school kids. Oh, they kiss now. They are. No, they're not.
And it was creepy as hell, though. I told y'all that man just came out of the darkness on her. It was creepy as hell. Who does that? He was just like, you want to know why? I would have been like, hold up. Now you just coming out of too many places for me. It's just too much, Rick. Go home.
Yes.
Go home to your kids.
Common
You
sense.
ruined my life.
Do that.
Yes, you can't check on your kids. Why are you following me? Damn.
From the beginning to the end, he followed her. 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 I was just like, I can't with Rick. Rick, you too thirsty. He made me so thirsty. I had to drink me 2 bottles of water last night. I was so thirsty. It was just too much.
I guess.
But I mean, because in real life, it's like I said on top of in real life, Jesse should have been like, damn, you know, get out of my face. Do you know you've ruined my life? Yes, he was beating my ass, but you didn't check in with me to see if it was all right to shoot him. Damn.
You know what? I'm really glad you brought that up. I am really glad. You know, you guys, getting back to season 5 here for a minute, when Pete killed Reggie and Deanna gave him the okay. You know, for a minute there, I didn't think that Rick was actually gonna pull the trigger. You know, I think he was. You know, I really thought that. You know what? Let me just take a step back here. Let's. I don't know. There was like a moment where I actually thought like maybe it wasn't gonna happen, but then he really did pull the trigger, and that was the end of it. And then I thought, oh, they can go a completely different route on this, but yet. Of course, it's gonna introduce Jesse in season 6. But you guys, I knew that what the fandom was dealing with is with a child. I've seen Alexandra Breckenridge work in other shows, and I've mentioned it several times. As a matter of fact, it was our very first chat, Lainey. Remember when I told you about the whole that they gave the part to Breckenridge, and I knew that she had a fallout with American Horror Story, and this is who they hired.
She had a falling out?
Yeah, I believe that she did with American Horror Story. I mean, she was supposed to be. Her scenes were supposed to be longer in the Coven, and then to end it like that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute here, what's going on? But in every single show that I've seen her in, she was pretty much a red shirt. She was always meant to die, and
she always died.
Yeah. She said that about herself.
I just thought that they hired a child. I really did. I really did thought that they hired a child. There was no kind of maturity in her, and for her to post this is how I knew that she feeds off of social media. When she did post her standing between the poster board of Rick and Carl holding the katana, and then one of her friends was like, "Oh, Alexandra, you are so bad." Like, it was like to say, like, guess who's coming here? Like, guess who's here now? And I was like, oh, this is so juvenile. This is great. This is who they hired. I was like, this is who they hired. This is awesome. This is what we're going to be dealing with. But.
Well, I watched The Talking Dead last night, and you know she had to bring up Chris Hardwick was like, oh, the kids, and she was like, nobody wants to throw tomatoes. Nobody wants to throw tomatoes.
No, because we know you're dead.
That's what she said.
I hate her so much.
And Chris Hardwick was like, why would they want to do that? Well, I mean, you know, he's the leader, you know, and I'm the first to have him. So, yeah.
So Lori just don't exist?
Yeah. You know, he's the leader, and, you know.
See how full of herself she is? You see her?
Oh, girl, she
went. They hired. They hired an unprofessional child.
The first 2 seconds of the show, that's what she said.
So Lori just like was not a thing in this show.
Girl,
I hate her so much.
Of course not. Oh, what a child.
She said that last night, and Chris Hardwick was like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?"
How
you know what she means.
How was Chris? Did he behave himself at least, or was he still fanboying?
You know, he wasn't that bad. If I sat there and I watched the whole Talking Dead, he was not that bad. He really did not. All he could do, honestly, he could not talk about her character outside of Rick.
Of course not.
He could not say that
Her character outside of Rick.
outside of Rick, of her. And he even said to her, he was like, pretty much at this point, you're a horrible mother. And she was like, well, yeah, because she, you know, she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know how to communicate with her kids right now.
Mother.
And then Chris Hardwick made a comment, and he was like, oh, so you go sleep with Rick. And she was like, she got quiet. She couldn't respond back to that.
I think that Chris Hardwick is, I think for whatever, because first of all, he's not a good actor, all right? Because I'm seriously now thinking that he is giving cues as to what he can say and how he say it. Like, some of the things that he said, just like the thing with him saying about Jesse and Rick having this chemistry. And it's like, you know, you're the host of Talking Dead, and you're actually going to say they have chemistry, but you don't see Michonne and Rick who have chemistry. You don't actually, you don't see that. And I'm like,
right? No, he sees some chemistry between Michonne and Rick.
But I don't think he can say it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, nobody can say it. Like, even Yvette, she has to say it like under her breath because for whatever reason they don't want people to see Rick and Michonne as a potential relationship other than friendship. That's what they've been telling us. And I kind of feel foolish for not just listening to them and not bothering, because that's the story they're consistent about.
And that makes me...
No. What they're consistent about is saying whether or not they are going to be an item. That's what they're consistent about. They won't answer the question. They won't answer it.
Trying to sell Jesse and Rick, but I think it's going to be like, I don't think they really care about Jesse and Rick. Nobody mentions them at Comic-Con. Like, right? They're just trying to get through this. It feels like.
You know, I have to say that I do think that Rick and Michonne are going to happen, because I do take it back to when Andrew Lincoln was doing an interview with EW, and he did let us know that there was going to be some kind of hookup with him and Jesse. Because what did he say? You know, the first day is going to be awkward. He said, but she really need, you know, he said something to the likings of, you know, there's not that many people in the zombie apocalypse. She'll come around. You know, I don't know if y'all remember that when he said that about him and Jesse. I should have known then that something was going to happen with them, but I always am like, okay, you know, Andrew just be talking. So it ended up happening. So for him to be boasting about him and Michonne the way that he is, it's got to be happening. You know?
Yeah, I think eventually it'll happen, but the problem for me is the destination doesn't matter so much as the journey. Like, am I going to care by the time they actually do Michonne?
Exactly.
And when they do Michonne, what is Michonne going to get? Is she going to like go into the background like Maggie, or is she going to become a prop like Jesse? Like, what is the benefit to her being Rick's love interest?
True that.
They haven't really shown it.
Well, I think once they get together, like, the arc is that she's found love, and then after that, it can be whatever they want it to be. It just depends on whether they want to make a story.
I mean, I hope so, but their track record with love interest isn't very good.
Well, that's because everything falls back onto the writers.
Yeah, their track record with women isn't very good.
It's not, and it just makes me. It do make me a little bit concerned as far as what we are going to expect for 6B. Like, right. I've already. I feel like I've forgotten about A. I'm ready for B. I'm ready to go through the holidays and come back in the new year all nice and refreshed. I mean,
right.
It's Valentine's Day. It's Denai's birthday. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready for B.
Right. Bring
I
it
just keep telling
on.
myself that's what I gotta get to because this is driving me crazy.
It really,
I tell you what,
you know what? It just kind. I don't want to say it reminds me of 5A, but 5A was very hard for me. It's like I had to go through Slaptown. I had to go through Grady, and then I have to go through these unnecessary episodes where they broke the group up, and the lack of Michonne or Carl, and just now we're doing this again. And then to find out that Carl wasn't even really in the episode last night, that's discouraging.
And there
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah.
been any Carl and Michonne at all this season. That's ridiculous.
Right. Carl hasn't even been with Rick, has he?
No.
Like, I'm sick of this.
He ain't even with, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't even with his son this episode. They weren't together. He was giving gun lessons to somebody else's child because you want this relationship to work out.
and I know. And where's Rick's cop skills? He didn't see right through Ron. I mean, he made sure to empty the gun and just leave one bullet, but he didn't take note of the fact that Ron was totally being a little childish tattletale. Oh, I was talking about going. I mean, how come we saw it? How come we saw what Ron was
Rick
doing?
is a man. Rick is a man. Rick is thinking about other things. He's not seeing things for what they really are. Because I really do feel like that Ron is setting him up. He wants to learn how to shoot so he can bust a cap in your ass.
Too bad you're gonna miss.
While you trying to get some ass, you better watch your ass. That's all I'm saying. You better watch it.
Another bad situation of writing. That was not believable. You're not going to sit here. You busy setting up these things, walkers, and you telling people, no, you got to take control of this now. You need to get Pete together and this, and all, and pretty much it's all hearsay that he's hearing behind Pete because he's getting it second hand, right? And you saw that, but you don't see this.
I didn't see it either.
It's not believable. In the real world, I hate to say real world because it doesn't make any sense, but in the real world, because zombie apocalypse, Rick would not be acting this way. He would not be thinking about Jesse. All he would be concerned about is his kids.
I'm telling
All
you.
he'd be worried about.
But how did this change? How did this change? Because remember last season, before they got to Alexandria, he was talking about his kids, that he's not just going to bring his kids into this community that might not be safe. So how did he just change all of a sudden to where he ain't thinking about his baby and his son? And where's Judith?
Yeah. Don't get me started, Chris. I'm probably the only person in the fandom that don't like her.
You don't like Judith.
Where I'm from Wildland.
I don't like Judith. I don't like the way they use it. She's just
Okay.
the way they use it. She's just there. You know, she hasn't progressed. She's saying any words. They don't show her wall. It's like all we see is Carl carrying around. That's all we see. It's like I don't like her.
Well,
she's a huge plot hole because there's no way
in the car.
she could have survived.
There you go.
Like they were talking about how they hadn't had food for a long time. There's no way she could survive without food. There's no way that she wouldn't get sick and like need medicine and like they would have to they would have to take care of her, but it's just like, oh, she's a baby, so she survives everything.
Yeah, you know.
No, babies got weak immune systems. I don't know. And can you imagine that diaper? I bet you that baby had a diaper rash out this world. You know what I mean? I mean, if we want to be real about it, that baby probably had on that same diaper. For how
We
long?
want you gotta be real
Well,
about
if
Judas
they were
was
taking
not
care of her, they would have changed that diaper. Or, let her go without it. She doesn't need one.
yeah, I mean you understand the Catholics let her pee and shit wherever she needs to. Damn.
Or go Conan the Barbarian, let her just be naked. Let her just
You know what?
let her just be a naked little baby.
The reason I is because they're not making it realistic for a baby. They should have the thinnest baby on there because she looked way too healthy. She just does. And they've only been there like a week, right? They've been on the road for a couple of weeks. No, that
I'm
baby.
sorry, lady, you're breaking up.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Ash?
Huh?
I thought you were trying to interrupt.
No.
Well, I'm gonna bounce off of what Lainey was saying. She is right about Judah because what he trying to feed her acorns. He was
Like, he was gonna kill her then, apparently, because
I was trying to feed her acorns. So I agree that baby should have been just thin, frail.
Sickly or something. I mean,
Something.
I don't know. I'm okay with her being healthy and not like having storylines revolve around her so much, but because I think that could get kind of irritating, but
yeah.
Right.
it would be more realistic.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah, it has to be a little bit more realistic. She should be. She first of all, she should definitely be way more whiny for a baby that's coming off the road. Healthy babies don't cry unless they're hungry, right? All right, we know that Judith wasn't getting the nutrition that she was supposed to be. Sickly babies act sick. And she don't cry. She don't cry at the wrong time. You mean all that time on the road she wasn't crying at all? Is she hungry and thirsty? No. You got to do better than that. It should have been a situation just like with Lizzie and Mika. Remember when Judith was crying then and Lizzie was about to smother her to death? It needs to be, babies cry. All this time they on the road, she never cried. Please.
That would be really annoying, so I'm glad they didn't do that.
Ooh.
Like I said, she's there, and they need to do something with her. She needs to be involved in the story.
They said she wasn't going to be hot this season, and then I don't know what happened to that, because whatever.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. It's got to be some years past before we see what's going on with Miss Judah.
Right. Maybe she'll be talking the next time we see her in 2 years.
Right.
I hope she be walking. Jesus, she's not developing well at all in this zombie apocalypse. She not getting none of her motor skills.
I want to say that I almost cried with Maggie when she was talking about Glenn. I was like, that is how you do it. That is how you do it, girl. She saved that episode a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With her part.
it's always been really strong.
Yes. When they give her time to shine, that heifer can act. Okay? And she had me almost in tears. I was just like, girl, I can't. Oh, Lord.
I did cry. I was like, oh, shit. I didn't even want to watch this. She got me sitting here crying.
She touched me in my heart, deep down in my soul. I was like, girl, yes.
And I did like her. Yeah. That was a weird coupling, but I liked them together.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that Aaron was there. I just think that, Michonne or Carol or Tara or Rosita or somebody else should have been there too.
I would have loved for one of them to hear that she was pregnant. That she confided in them to let them know I'm pregnant. I would have loved it to have been another woman.
Yeah.
But Aaron kind of like a woman.
Uh-oh.
You're wrong.
There we go. So We good.
It could have been a case of Maggie. Maggie's probably reminded of when they got separated from the prison and she asking, Sasha and Bob, please help me find them. And it's like I gotta ask them to, risk their lives again in this walker's house. So I could see in that part thinking, I'm just not gonna ask nobody. I'm just gonna go do this by myself. Now it's stupid, but I could see why.
No, but she learned that she needed their help back in season 4. That was her big epiphany. She's like, I need your help, so I'm gonna ask you for it. She should have asked for help because she apparently needed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was out of character for Maggie. Like, she should have asked for help.
Michonne, Carol was busy killing all these wolves. She probably sleeping in the house by now. She got to be tired.
I think they said she was asleep, right? Didn't they say she was like asleep, laid down or something?
Yeah,
She was supposed to do gate duty or whatever.
Well, if not,
Maggie
could have asked Michonne.
Yeah.
She could have asked Michonne.
She was standing there with Michonne and Rosita.
She should have asked Rosita. Yeah, that's how I was like, she should have asked Rosita. Yeah. She wasn't nowhere near.
I get it. They had to give, because we haven't really seen a lot of Aaron, so I get why they gave it to
I don't
him,
have a problem with
whatever,
him having screen time and him being a good friend to her and support and whatever. Just like, they could have shared that.
Right.
Perfect opportunity.
I never have a problem with Aaron being on the screen. Aaron is definitely one of the exceptions of the Alexandrians that I like.
Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah, he cool. He cool. I don't know.
So I'm really glad that, like, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad it's just Daryl next week and Sasha and Abraham. Because I don't want the Alexandria.
Yeah. With all the craziness going on in Alexandria, I need a break from them.
Yeah. I wish we didn't have to do this for episode 8, honestly.
I'll take it. I'll take whatever I get.
I have to agree. At one time, it was like, oh, this is too much, Daryl. This is too much. Now it's like, y'all need to do a little more Daryl than what you got going right now. I mean,
I know Daryl fans got
to overdo it. We want a little bit of Daryl. We just didn't like him out of everybody else. What he missed, like he's only been on the motorcycle. He was only like in a couple minutes of 1, 2, 1 and 2, right?
1 and 3, I
or
think.
is it 3? Yeah, 1 and 3. Yes. I want to see what's going on down. That's my boy. I certainly like him better than Jesse and Spencer.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah. Lainey, you were breaking up. I couldn't hear you.
It wasn't anything of any consequence. I wasn't saying anything important.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, speaking of speculation, Camille asked any speculation on what will happen with the injured wolf.
What injured wolf?
He gonna get out.
The one that Morgan captured.
Yeah, he's
gonna find a way out.
He's gonna kill Judith or something.
that would be what Rick deserves. Honestly.
Season.
Like, why didn't Rick talk to Morgan? Why didn't he find out how many wolves there were, that Morgan let some of them go? Maybe even Morgan would admit that he was keeping one, and then they could have like, actually done some investigation and be like, oh, there's some wolves over there. Maybe we should get a group of people and go after them. Like nothing that he did made sense.
Nothing. He
I
was
think
too busy
for
chasing.
for some reason or another, somebody other than Morgan is going to go into that house with that wolf. And he's either going to attack him or he's going to be dead. He's going to turn. For some reason, because they got him hanging around for some reason.
To cause trouble somehow, yeah.
Yeah, they got him hanging around. For whatever reason, I still think that there's more wolves. I mean, I'm thinking about the comic. Okay, I'm thinking about the comic. And that I know there was a character. So I'm like,
There was what?
I know it was a comic. And it was, I mean, he was,
Lainey, are you on your phone or are you on your computer?
I'm on the phone.
Because we can't
like
hear you.
You're really breaking up. Like it's hard to understand what you're saying.
Oh. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, you can type what you're saying if you want.
Since we're talking about the wolves,
Okay.
I just think that I have a problem with the wolf story than it is already. I mean, why? I was like, why couldn't it just be the saviors and just be done with it? Instead of the wolves, it could have just been the saviors. So at least we would be bracing ourselves for season 6. Like, okay, here comes the saviors. We know, but we don't know when they're gonna strike.
Right.
You guys follow the comics though, right? The people that were like, "Little pig, let me in" or whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I think they've been kind of building up the wolves to be this huge, big enemy. Like at in the season finale last season, like we saw the truckloads of zombies and like, oh, they're a big bad, but nobody's reacting to them like they're the serious threat. Like they came in and they killed tons of people, and there's no reaction to it. It's not like, oh, this is a problem we need to solve. And it's been like that since I saw it. Like when they saw them in What's Happening and What's Going On, it's just like, oh, that's scary, but they didn't even say anything. And then when they got to Alexandria and they saw more zombies with W's on it, they looked at it, but they're like, oh, they didn't think anything like, oh, maybe we should investigate and try and find out what's going on, like how these people traveled 60 miles or 100 miles or whatever and got here. Like they're never showed any kind of like true reaction to having this big threat, and that's ridiculous to me.
And that's why I will say to this day it should have just been the saviors. It would have been much more believable, and it would prepare us.
I feel like we're going to be sick of the saviors by the time it's done, so I'm glad to start.
And my thing is, what was the point of them having all of those walkers?
Your guess is as good as mine. I guess it all comes down to writing, I guess. Because I'm still trying to figure it out. I mean, it was a really good booby trap and everything with Aaron and Daryl, but that was it.
Because I thought that they were going to bring the walkers to them, and then they went with something completely different, so they kind of just threw that storyline out the window.
And you know what? I am still bothered by that truck, too. The truck that Spencer shot down. Someone, please tell me, was it a walker that they made drive that truck so it can hit?
I remember we had this discussion.
Yes, no, I'm bringing it.
We'll never know.
I said, how did they have a walker drive that truck? Right. I agree with you. I really thought it was a walker the whole time.
Inconsistency, and there's just so much. And there's so much that they're doing in so little time. stretch in the episode that just doesn't make any sense. And I just want to know who was driving that truck. It's a problem for me because Spencer shot it down. The horn is blowing. He opens the door, and it's a juicy looking walker. And I was like, wow. So I was like, that's pretty creative if the Savior's tied up this walker to the, to the wheel, the foot to the brake, and just let it go to town on the zone. I mean, that would be great. But then still, no one can explain that to me, and it's bothering me. It really, really is.
Well, he said that
there's no way that walker could have drove it in straight into Alexandria. It would have had to crash into something before. That's what
Yeah, they said he stopped it in this episode. I'm assuming he stopped a person. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh. This is just...
And you would think like they would explain that in Talking Dead, but they didn't. They didn't bring up that vehicle.
Well, it's clear to me, so maybe they thought it was clear to everyone else.
You know what? We don't need to be on the Talking Dead because they would be mad at us because we would bring up stuff and they'd be like, look, you ain't supposed to be looking at the show like that. Y'all thinking about
But that's our job. We are supposed to look at the show. It's just, oh my goodness. You can't put something on television and you have millions of fans and not have us question your judgment on some of these scenes. You have to be aware of that.
I don't think they like criticism very much.
Is it like what?
It doesn't seem like they like criticism very much. Wasn't Gail like blocking people yesterday for expressing their opinion?
Yep. People weren't even being mean about it, and she blocked them. And then
so glad
on the Twitter account, they only tweeted like positive stuff. But I mean,
yeah, they did. I couldn't believe that. I mean, wow, Gail, that kind of that was.
Gimple hasn't blocked me, but
I expect that from Gimple, and I expect that from Kirkman. But I would not have expected that from Gail. Seriously, and honestly and truthfully, I wouldn't expect that from her. Because I've seen her posting positive tweet. Well, you know what? I lied.
It's positive.
Yes,
it's positive.
Yes, that's the word. She has only been tweeting positive tweets from other fans.
Yes.
So, of course, it wouldn't pass me. But then now Now we can honestly look at the executive producers of The Walking Dead more. We should be looking at them now.
Yeah, that's what I say. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore. My eyes are wide open to what's going on. And, my thing is this. You need to get a tough skin, all of the producers. If people are coming at y'all and they're telling you how you feel, get a tough skin. Get like Sandra Rhimes. When they kill old dude from Grey's Anatomy, she got online and read through people for filth. She didn't care. You know what I'm saying? She got on there and let them know. So my thing is kind of like, okay, if you're going to stand by an episode, stand by it. Stand by it. Don't be, blocking people. Stand by the episode. I just don't agree with that. When I saw she was blocking people, I was like, are you serious? I guess I really just didn't think people were going to be up in arms about this episode.
I guess not.
But most of the tweets, they were truthful. It made me sad. You guys know I'm a very emotional girl sometimes. So, when I tear up, I'll tell you guys I'm tearing up. So it was like to see this is what was going on last night. I was really glad that I wasn't a part of it. So I could be like, I just didn't want to feel like that. I don't need that. But then to see the backlash and then to see the negative response that the fan has sent to these executive producers and then to turn around and just block them was pretty childish.
Yeah. It
That's
really
not
was.
which I guess brings back the whole thing about, oh, we were doing this for the fans. I guess you're not. You're really not doing it for the
I don't
fans.
know who they're doing it for. I mean, I guess the general audience just laps this shit up, but they still need to do better. Like, just be consistent. And, you know, think of plots that don't have holes in them. Like, everything that they did wrong, they could have easily fixed.
That's right.
I feel like they just need to spend more time. Like, don't go with the first idea. Think about this a little bit more and come back to it maybe. But y'all just can't be like, oh, this is how we're going to do this, and don't explore any other options, because that's how you end up with stupid storylines. And they have
Right. And it's so many people talking about dropping the show. I know my parents are talking about dropping it. And they love the show, but they're like, I just don't know where they're going. You know, I don't understand what's going on with this show. You know, and they're really talking about dropping it
I can understand.
altogether.
Because, like, the only reason I think I'm still, like, here is because I know what's going to happen. If I
Right.
didn't, I would be over this after that kiss. I would just be like,
Yes.
you know, this is forever.
If it wasn't for me being nosy and wanting to know the spoilers,
Right.
then I would be gone a long time ago. I would have been gone after the kids as well. This episode would have done it for me.
Yeah.
But I know what's gonna happen, and yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
So ready. Are we going to have, like, a party after that episode?
Girl,
can.
I'm saying.
Like a
Bring
special
champagne.
chat immediately following the episode. I think why not? Why not do a chat after that episode?
I'm with it.
I guess I would have to find like a live stream or something, or just like celebrate before I even get to see it.
Yes. Oh.
I'm sure you can find a live stream, though. People post them.
We probably would get so much hate for that, but oh well. So what? You know?
Live streams are just unreliable. Like, I tried to watch what's happening, what's going on via live stream, and it would just like Tyrese would get bit, and then like the stream would pause, like, oh my god, what happened? And it just, I couldn't do it, so I just rather wait. But I might try and find a live stream. When is the mid-season finale?
November 29th, 2015, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Woo! Girl, you got it down to the minute, the second.
Oh, yeah, we both are left.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Ready for this episode.
20 days, you're
I
out.
actually have a holiday that weekend.
What'd you say?
We'll see. Nothing important. We'll see.
Okay.
I mean, if you guys want to plan it, we could just do it. Don't worry about me. We can just do it.
I'm excited. Whatever y'all want to do, I'm with it.
Well, we
Whatever y'all
can't
want to do.
do a chat without you, Kay. I mean, you're like pretty much the
Yeah.
moderator.
Right.
That's
Right.
right. We will not do it without you.
Oh, that's sweet.
Well, let me see if I can do see if I can just maybe. Have you guys ever done? What is it? Maybe through Rabbit wouldn't be able to do it live. You actually have to have the TV. Maybe like facing the laptop towards the television. But then
Oh,
so
that's
the
a
camera.
good idea.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of options, like what to do. So,
Or we
Yeah,
just meet up there Monday and we all have like little, whistles and stuff. Woo! And,
And have a margarita.
right?
have little hats and stuff. That is so sad, but we cannot wait for this to happen. Oh.
You
I'm
know,
just glad we know beforehand and can plan accordingly.
you guys, I was secretly hoping that it would not happen. I was like really, maybe they won't really go that route. Maybe they'll just do something completely different. And
Well, I just didn't see how they would do it because they have all this other important stuff that's going on that they could show. And then they're going to take a break from all of that important stuff to show us Rick being gross. Like, why would they have to do that? It doesn't make any sense.
Because they need to
You know
stop
what?
on November 29th.
When they broke down the two episodes, episode 6 and 7, and they gave us a little description, and when they said episode 7, it looks like everything is getting back to normal and everybody is getting along in Alexandria, I knew we was up for some bull crap. I already knew it. When I saw that, I said, Lord Jesus. And then came the spoiler, the Q&A after that. And I was like,
yep.
You had to slow it down, didn't you, to get that in there. You just have to do it.
Wait, have to do what?
But they've got walkers at their gates, and they're just like, oh, the walls are strong enough. Like, I thought that was the whole reason why you had this big plan to get the walkers away from the town.
Hello. Now, can I ask y'all this? When Deanna, at the end of the episode, she walked away, and they showed the wall, was it bleeding or was it cracking?
It was a crack.
Okay, that's what I thought. They were saying it was bleeding. I'm like, come on, you cannot see blood through metal.
Right.
Come on. Really?
Yeah, it was like separate.
Yeah, it's starting to crack.
Yeah.
So, bring it. I'm ready. I'm so ready. But you know what? I think what's going to happen in episode 7, we're not going to like that episode either until the last 5 minutes.
What do you think is going to happen in the last 5 minutes?
Episode 7, has a spoiler come out?
That's when all hell is going to break loose, and then they're going to leave us hanging, and then we'll go into the mid-season finale. But we're going to get a whole bunch of bull crap.
What do you guys think is going to happen
development.
I'm not watching it.
What's going to happen in episode 7? Has any spoilers come out for episode 7?
All it said is that things are calming down, so I'm pretty sure Rick and Jesse are sleeping together, and I'm not watching it.
Yeah, they're sleeping together, but I do think, because you know how The Walking Dead does it, everything is calm, and then all hell break loose. And then we gotta wait a week, and then here we are, mid-season finale.
Yeah, it's going to have to be like that, because...
You know what I'm saying? You get that last couple of minutes of something like the wall breaking, and then bam, it's over, and then we go into episode 8, and then they see walkers, and then here we go.
Did anyone hear?
Somehow we throw in the wolves. The wolves get in there some way, somehow. I don't know. You know The Walking Dead. They got it figured out, I guess. But that's what I'm thinking they're gonna do, because the walls is already cracking.
Yeah.
They're already cracking. So by the end of 7, we're going to have our No Way Out arc.
I'm not watching it, so y'all can let me know how that goes.
Yeah, because you're going to wake up. We're going to get them where they're after the sex or whatever. They're going to show that. They're going to show that.
Oh, God. I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of disgusting, really. That's
okay,
really
so let's go on.
Yeah. Moving on. Okay. Oh, Lord. Just let's brace ourselves.
I want to talk about Tumblr for a little bit. Just tiny bit. Okay, so the other day, right? I don't know, maybe not really the other day, but there has been like a stream of I really, really don't want to bring up this person's name, so I'm gonna say I think
we can all guess who you're talking about.
Yeah, we know who you're talking of. I know.
Okay, so you guys remember, Ashley, you remember, of course you would remember that day we all had jumped on Chris on Twitter, on his on as far as Talking Dead with Michonne. Like everyone had attacked him and Talking Dead for their behavior.
Right.
Well, there was like a stream of Tumblr posts. I posted a a screenshot of they're asking questions for Michonne and the Talking Dead, and you guys should go ahead and make sure you get the questions in. And then I pretty much hashtag it, backstory, flashback, what are we getting about Michonne and everything. And then I noticed that I don't follow her, but for some reason it got to her, and she responded in such a manner. Like, I was like, what the hell is she talking about? She has no idea what's going on Twitter and what we're doing on Twitter to protect Michonne. Like we can be pro Michonne and Richonne. There's no pro Richonne and no Michonne in the Richonne fandom. And then Pure 80, she broke it down, and I was like, I love that. Just trash her. It was like she needed to see that. She needed to know that there is no one in the Richonne fandom that is just Richonne. It is all pure Michonne. And I was like, this person, whoever she is not for Michonne at all. I think
people need to stop responding to her. Just block. Like, every time you see her, just block her. Like,
well, I don't know how to block.
She just wants attention. And people keep giving it to her.
And they do, and it's like people pop up, and she has like this little following. People are like jumping on her bandwagon because of this whole,
like yesterday, people were getting on my nerves, so I just blocked everybody, and that's just what I do.
Someone just tell me how to do it, how to block, but I was very upset over that.
About blocking is that it doesn't block you from seeing their stuff. It's just, I hate blocking. They need mute for Tumblr.
Oh, so it's like, okay, got it. Great.
You can't see yours.
What do you mean? Like, I block people and I don't see anything unless other people, like mutuals, reblog it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I shouldn't be able to see their name unless.
Well, yeah, but even that has gone down a lot because I just blocked them too.
I can't block them.
Nice, Kay. That is awesome. But it just really bothers me. It's just.
I know it. I know she's bothersome, but really, just stop giving her the attention. Block her and move on. The only reason she says these things is because she knows she'll get attention. She doesn't believe half the stuff she's saying.
Or she doesn't know exactly what's going on. She doesn't.
Yeah.
I did ask her a while back, a long time ago when I was following her, why don't you get a Twitter account and join us on these Twitter trends? It's great. You have a lot of Michonne fans as well as Richonne there. It's both. You get it. No, and she was just telling me why, and I was like, wow, you don't even want to get a Twitter account to promote this character that you love. I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense. And then I got a message from Pure 80 who had let me know, and she gave me the receipts, and I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, okay, I'm definitely following the wrong person. But it was like she wouldn't have known that there was question about Michonne if we brought it up on Tumblr's attention. So it's just.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that part up, you guys. But I guess I can't block her.
She's not worth your time. She's not worth the energy.
Yeah, I blocked her the first time I saw her on Twitter. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I mean, on Tumblr.
Okay, so
I tried to engage her once and have an actual conversation, but that ended up being like she wasn't reading anything that I said, and it was obvious, so I blocked her. I give everybody a chance, and then after that, it's just like, you're blocked.
Give everybody
the block list.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm gonna give you a chance, and one chance. You messed it up.
When you messed up, yeah. Goodbye.
So no mention of Glenn, eh? None. They didn't even go and try
None.
and save him. I know I'm thinking about Glenn right now because I firmly believe that Glenn is alive. I'm sorry. I love Glenn. I love him.
Well,
And
he's definitely alive. I have no idea when he comes back though. Like even from filming school.
Episode 8, 9.
It might be 9.
Yeah.
Scott
But
Gimple said it would be this season, so I mean this half season. So I'm guessing it's 8, but it
so
might be like
they're
very
gonna
end.
leave us hanging. That
Right.
is so messed up.
But do you think that maybe, let's just say, some way, somehow, Abraham and Sasha finds him?
Oh, I thought it
Because
was
he's
Enid
still
that
out
found
there.
him. I thought I
Okay.
saw a spoiler or something
What?
that Enid found him.
She does?
I thought I
Oh.
saw like filming spoilers or something, like they were seen filming together.
I had no idea, but that's what I
Oh,
thought. It was
Oh,
like,
you know what? You right, Kay. Yeah, you're right.
I knew it was gonna be her
You
season.
sound so
Right.
enthusiastic about that.
There is
Oh, what is it?
pictures. What I want to know, how that little girl get around that herd?
we won't
Same
find
way
out. I
Rick
mean, we
did.
didn't find out how Rick got away from the herd.
Yeah,
We
we'll
ain't
never
gonna
know.
find out about her. That is really.
I was actually really excited to find out how he got back, and you guys are like, we don't know.
He was just running. Girl, just running. Open the
Well, I
gate.
mean, these walkers, they are stupid. They've been 2 years degrading. Like they can't run, so I can kind of see it being that easy. But it's still like because
Well,
they
why did you
are
put me here?
this decrepit, like how come they're such a big threat? Like they shouldn't really be. They should be focusing on the wolves because it's people who are the real threat.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But remember they have this big thing where they want you to think that the walkers are the threat again, and you know it's the walkers. They want you to know that they're still a threat, and blah 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 blah. Blah. So
You know, I'm actually a little pissed off that no one ain't gonna try and figure out how to get the walkers away from the walls. So they just letting the walkers hang out against the walls, like
they
no kind of distraction away.
how they're gonna dispose of bodies as to talk about how they're gonna get rid of these walkers. They were too busy talking about what we gonna do with these bodies. Well, we don't bury killers here, and da, da, da. You know that was what they were basically talking about more than anything.
So was this in the episode or just somebody? I don't know, but someone said they were waiting for Abraham and Sasha to get back. Do they say that, or was that just
They were.
okay?
They were. Rick and them. Rick was waiting for them to get back to lead them off.
Okay,
You know, they would see the walkers and they can lead them off, but of course that never happened.
What kind of plan is that?
Why do they gotta wait? Why can't they get another vehicle and do it themselves?
My God.
Girl, I'm telling you, the writing is horrible. It's just, ooh. Can we get Scott Darabont back? I say, what's his name? What is Darabont? Can we get him back? Just get him
They're
back.
not paying enough. That was his issue. That he wants more
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, and you know they're in a lawsuit right now with him.
Yeah, you right. So he ain't coming back.
Yeah,
Ooh, we'll do.
he's bitter.
They could just like ask some other show for some advice. Just be like, how do you balance out all these characters and do it right? Like
Shed the fat. Shed the fat. You got to start killing off. I've said it before. You've got to start killing off certain characters.
And stop adding more. God damn.
And stop exactly giving them the plot.
I don't know. I mean, I was just thinking about like The Good Wife, which is like an ensemble, and they have all of these like, you know, guest characters come in, and like there's so many different characters, but it's like all really good and like it's balanced. It's just like, why can't they do that?
Because they don't have the same writers.
Because they don't want to pay the money. I don't know. All the money is going on really bad commercials. I'm sorry. The commercials on the screen and the commercials on the laptop is still pissing me off, you guys. It is a
Right.
zombie apocalypse. Stop
Wow.
showing laptops and cell
I don't
phones.
have to deal with commercials because I download legally.
Well, yeah, that's great, but I mean, what are you gonna do with a laptop and a cell phone during an apocalypse? I'm sorry. Show me more water commercials, some granola bars, and some more SUVs and cars and trucks. I mean, that's what people should be seeing on the screen when The Walking Dead plays. And they don't do that. I'm seeing Windows and T-Mobile, and I'm just like so
Video
fed up.
games. Video games.
Yes.
That makes sense. I don't watch
Every
commercials.
time it's a movie and then it's a video game. I'm like, oh, that movie look good. And I'm like, oh, that's game. Okay.
Yeah, but I just don't get it. But they're spending a lot of money on the commercials.
Well, isn't it that the commercials are spending money on The Walking Dead because they want
Yeah,
lots
that's
of
how they
people
do
to
it.
watch them?
I'm sorry.
They
Yes,
spend money on the show. Yeah.
I got it backwards. I'm sorry. So they have to air the commercials. However,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they're being approached by the wrong people.
Well, yeah, they can't.
That's what the money is. Otherwise, it would be worse than it is. They have water commercials.
I don't know.
Aquafina ain't cutting it.
Too much. It's just too much. It's too much. Too much. Too much.
But commercials suck. I get that.
I don't watch them.
You know, I love American Horror Story, you guys. American Horror Story is like an hour and 20 minutes. Or an hour and 15 minutes, and you know it's great. It's like by the time I come back, the episode is back on. I'm like, whoa, wait, rewind. It's like, so it's like these extra 4 minutes of the show is unnecessary, or this extra an hour and an hour and a half is really an hour and 10 minutes. Everything else is just commercials. It really
Yeah,
is.
you really
Yeah,
don't get
it's
good
only
show.
like 64 minutes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
The rest
every
is
22
commercials.
minutes a show. Every 30 minutes a show is like 8 minutes commercial or something like that.
Well, I don't know.
Yep.
I think Empire is still limited commercial breaks, and I love that. The less commercials for me, the better.
Well, you know, The Walking Dead could just move to Netflix and there wouldn't be any commercials.
Yes,
That would be great.
that
I
would
can skip over certain episodes.
right. Yes, binge watch the ones that we like. That would be great if they do that.
Yeah.
But about it.
That's never
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Anyway, I've got to get going. But
Okay.
it was
Oh.
good chatting with you guys and like getting some stuff off my chest.
Yes, I was waiting for this since Friday. I heard the spoilers, so I feel a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know if I can deal with this show anymore, but we'll see.
Woo! Yeah.
We'll make it, you guys. We'll make it.
20
I
more
have-
days, you guys.
All right,
What-
guys. Well, I see you guys next week.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye.